What is up, legends? We are back, and this is kind of like a special video, because I need to break something down, and it's a universal type of topic, as you're probably gonna see in the title, but it works really well in this game, and I see a lot of people confused on how I'm doing certain things in this game. And granted, I do the same exact thing in my Scion account that I do here, and I generally do the same process throughout all of the gacha games that I play, and it's basically what I've learned over like 15 years of gacha, because I've been playing gacha 15 years. That sucks to actually kind of say that, but that's how long I've been doing it and doing content creation on it. A lot of people know me from the Naruto Online days, and even before that, Bleach Online, even before that, World of Warcraft. That's not like that's not a gacha, but still, that's like, I'm in as a gaming, I'm old. There's no other way to say it other than that. And you learn how to deal with gacha games. You can make gacha games really easy. So when I first originally showed you guys this game back in its CN version, when I noticed that this game follows the same ways that you can actually play other games, and you see that I actually do those in other games. So the main reason why we're talking about this now is that people are like, you got to be spending to have an account this strong. And no, you don't have to actually spend to have an account this strong. You can actually set up an account to be like this from the very start. Now, here's what I did. This game, essentially all you need is 4 characters to be 60, and you will never struggle anything ever again, period. That's just how it is. It doesn't even matter what the 4 characters are. It just need to be 60, and they need to be built. And that's the reality of the situation now. It doesn't matter what comes after this. It doesn't matter what anybody says is better. You just need 4 strong characters, and you're basically done after that. Now you're gonna need people to like counter, and then like get other characters up somewhat, so you can actually swap characters in and out on the certain modes where you're gonna get locked out, like the tower mode where you get locked out and stuff like that. And you're gonna need the elemental counter, and that's when you start to build other characters and start to come in out and things along those lines. But for the most part, you only need 4. And follow me. I'm going to explain how these 4 particular characters happen. I started the game with Eternity, and how you start a gacha game is very important, because it's going to take away the RNG. What I initially do with how I play these games is I take the RNG out of what the game is actually doing, if you're allowed to. Certain games don't allow you to actually do that, because obviously summoning and getting other characters just make it so that you're so much more at advantage in actually playing the game. But this isn't one of those games. This game, you can actually use a 4-star character, you can use a 5-star character, and be just fine. You don't necessarily have to get the 6-star characters. Case in point, York Bloom is like amazing. Like, she can basically handle a lot of stuff. You have Sonetto that can handle a lot of stuff. You have Decay that can handle stuff, and Balloon Party. You can take Apple up to 50, and he can handle stuff. You have X, Matilda. I don't know, Baby Blue. I never even used her, so I'm not even going to say that. But Click, Sweetheart, Tenet, and Necrologist. Sweetheart, Necrologist, and Charlie, and Tenet I used in CN. But for the most part, you don't actually need to chase the 6 stars. However, if you do get 6 stars, they're obviously going to be, cool. Now, there's some, what I want to say, RNG to this that you have that's unavoidable if you get lucky enough to get certain characters. It's just the way that it is. Now, I was lucky early to actually get Centurion. Keep following me right now. So if I perfect started, and if you perfect started and you got Eternity and Centurion, then you literally are half done at this point with this game. I'm not kidding. I'm talking about future content too. You're literally half done at the point of what you actually need. You're gonna get Bjorkboom eventually. She's just gonna appear eventually. That's just the way. She's a 5-star. It's not that hard to actually get her, and you automatically have Sonetto to begin with, and you automatically get Decay. You guys saw that I was actually using Decay for a while until I was using Decay in a Bloom Party and Apple for the most part. They're like right next to each other for the heals. But now that I have 2 Fairy, all of them are getting bumped. And I'm eventually get 2 Fairy up to 60. It's not that important to do that right now. I don't really need to right now. But she eventually, slowly with just using Idle, I'm going to get her to 60. It'll probably take like a week or 2 to actually do that. But I'm not going to focus any currency on actually doing that. So let's say you started with Eternity and Centurion. Now, what that actually does is allow you to physically push and punch your way through most of the content in the game, especially if you make Eternity basically not, you kind of negate the fact that she hurts herself, which is what I did. Game, why are you showing me this? Like, I just put, hello? Well, with this particular one, Laughter, Lighter, I guess this, like, whatever that is, dude, this particular side cube negates her negative aspect of what she has. On top of that, she takes less damage on top of that with the damage taken. And I eventually make her a bruiser and a damage bruiser, along with bringing up her not her insight, her resonate up, which is only 10 right now. And I got to get that higher up to 11 and 12, but it's just fine right now. I don't really need to do that. That negates all her stuff, so she's literally just normal with all of her damage, basically, because she heals back everything that she gets hurt with. When you put more pressure on her, obviously using her cards more, it starts to take a little bit of a toll, but not that much, because she just heals it back all the way. And I actually learned that from a CM player. If you go back in my videos, you'll even see the comment from the CM player that pretty much told me to do that. This was like a year and a half ago, basically, and he's right. It works. It makes her a godlike, because she's the balance that they tried to do with this character is make it so that she hurts herself to kind of balance it. But once you get rid of that negative, she's a god, basically. So follow me over to Centurion. What I do with Centurion is something else. I took this also from a CM player. With this particular side cube. Now, he didn't do it with this character, but I'm choosing to do it with this character. I gave her her second life, basically right here, and after the cast mass ultimate HP, and then she heals. Now, here's what that actually does between the two of them. Both of them fill the same role in 2 different elements. They're going to be single target hitting somebody hard. They're going to be AoE hitting somebody hard. One is going to basically heal themselves when they themselves solo, but not everybody else when they do their special. You have Centurion, who's basically going to heal herself and everybody else around it. So there's 2 characters who self-sustain themselves that do a lot of damage. Bring in the 3rd character, which was Decay.
Speak.
Before that was Apple, but you guys know what Apple heals. So what Decay basically does, what her special is, she makes herself immune with her ultimate, and on top of that, she's a healer and then has damage. So now I have 3 characters that essentially can beat their way through stuff, that can self-sustain themselves, and even if you're weaker, you still can do the content, basically, which is why I just steamrolled through people were like, oh, how are you that high of a level and not spending? And literally it was that. That's what carried so far. So now that I have this young lady,
Stop talking. It's time for a checkup.
what I'm rocking with her is I'm gonna be more aggressive with her, and she actually negates stuff and will take away if I'm stats down, the negative status and control and stuff like that. And on top of that, she's more of a DPS punch out than Decay, and on top of that, she's a different element, so I can elemental counter. All 3 of these guys are now 3 different elements now, which allow me to elemental counter basically, like, just say Lilia is actually Tooth Fairy, and now your elemental counter. Keep following me. Speaking of Bloodroom, the reason why Bloodroom was I put her at 60 was the tower. The tower mode, she single-handedly like smacked it through, and then you can kind of like push yourself through, which I had Sotheby and everything else. Now, granted, again, I'll prerequisite this again, that this is luck. With the characters like Tooth Fairy, Melania, and Sotheby, that's all luck. The other 5 stars are going to come out, here and there, and then Lilia came out as well. But I did not focus my currency on that. My currency went to stamina recharges. Basically here. I don't think I did a lot today though. Yeah, I just did 1. Stamina recharges. And I would take it down to like 4 of 8 every day. This is 4 of 8. Because after that is like kind of costly and you're just gonna have no currency at that point. And what that allowed me to actually do, basically using whatever summons I got, like if I got any of these unilogs, I would use that instead, and not, and like if I had like 8 or 9 or 7, 8 or 9 or something like that, then I would use a little bit of currency and do that. And if I got something, then I just got something. But this game has a pretty good system of pity that eventually you're gonna get. Even if you lose to 50, you're gonna get a 5-star, which is probably where majority, a 6-star, where the majority of my 6 stars came from. Is I either lost the pity or got the character pity that I was supposed to get. And the game gives you enough currency that way that you don't need to force it and go crazy. You don't even need to spin to do it, because they give you enough unilogs. They give you a monthly unilog. The events give you a few. You get currency in between, and they gave free currency as well. What's my phone doing? Why is my phone? Anyway, which allows you to do a lot of interesting stuff. Now, you put all of that together with the fact that I don't necessarily have been pressured to actually summon and didn't have to actually do that, and the fact that I brought the original battle pass. I'm not getting this one, because even though I use this character and he looks adorable right there, I don't see a point in getting the battle pass this time around, because I don't need it. I already have the 4 characters at 60, and everything else that I do at this point is just like, you don't need to go any higher than that. So once you get there, what you can do is you can just turn around and start working on the backward stats and start getting your psi cubes up, start getting yourself to a higher tier, so you can actually have resonate high. Like, I got resonate right out here. Got some nice critical going on right there, critical damage on the characters, and you start working on those type of things, and you keep it on the 4 characters right away. You can bring up other characters that you need, like we need to swap in the tower stuff, but you need to have these 4 characters. There's no reason for you not. I'm talking about free to play, because I did the same thing in CN. And like I said, in CN, I actually have more characters in CN, because the account's older. But you end up at a point right now that should be your focus. And I said that in the How to Start Strong. But what I think happens is that every time we get a new gacha game, people focus on the reroll and try to summon, because you see videos talking about that all the time, but you don't really see videos talking about the game flow, which is what I try to do all the time. I try to get you to understand the game, basically, and how to play the game to the point of not having to need to summon like that. You should always, and I always say this about literally every gacha game, your account power is more important than the summoning, because you can control your account power. I'll say it again, your account power is more important than the summoning, because you can control that. You can control getting to 60. You can control how high your insight gets. You can control maxing out your psi cubes. You can control farming for the psi cubes. You can control basically anything about the characters that you get, and you can actually control your perfect start. It'll take you a while sometimes to get a perfect start, or you can just do what I did when I got a tourney. I was like, after this, I'm out of here, and I'm gonna see how long it takes me to get Centurion, which was like a day later. And I was like, all right, this is my account, I'm good. And then I just let everything else happen at that point, just how it is. And Lilia was me losing the Sotheby banner. Pity. That's how I got Lilia. And then Sotheby by herself came out, and like the following update, she just came out. Like I was like, okay. And then I actually won the pity for Tooth Fairy, and remember Melania actually came out as well. So that again, that's Tooth Fairy and Melania is luck. Everything else, like if you push them off to the side, I could have lost both of those and got other characters, maybe got dupes or something like that. You see, I did get a Boom dupe a couple of times as well, and you see where the other 5-star dupes came from. But don't be afraid to let 5 stars kind of like help you out and keep you up. So the other part of this, I know I know this is really talky and not a lot of stuff, but I really need you guys to understand, because I get a lot of questions like how your character is so strong, and how I'm just trying to get you to understand how I got to that point. And it's not about money, it's just that you have to focus on one particular thing. Now, if you like summoning, you like characters, like I gotta have all the characters, go for it. I'm telling you that you're not gonna win that race unless you're spending a lot of money. Like that's not something you can control. You're not gonna be lucky majority of the time. Like 80% of the time, you're not gonna be lucky. That's just not a good way to play gacha, chasing characters all the time. You have to just make sure that your account is strong enough. And what ends up happening when your account is strong enough is that you can do all the content and you can farm currency, and you end up at a point where it just doesn't matter anymore. You just, when a character comes along, you just have a bunch of currency because you can curb stomp all of the content because your account is strong, which is what you see me doing at this point. Like when content comes in, like I got these characters basically to throw at it. And eventually what's going to happen now that I'm at this point is I'm going to have I'm basically going to be able to element. No, you shut up. I'm basically going to have elemental counters, except for light and dark. Light and dark is always an issue, but eventually that's going to get worked out too. But I'm going to be able to elemental counter knife. Now, the last thing that you want to know, that you can actually get helped. Don't farm. And this is one of the first things I had said, and how to start strong. Don't farm like hardcore, like towards getting items. Let the events help you build characters. In a sense, you get the events right here, what I'm talking about, these, what they'll do is they will help you build 2 characters every event. You get enough resources to build whatever the elemental character is, which is usually what's in the summit. If you don't want to use that character, it's still going to give you enough stuff to actually build a character. I'm talking about build a character to 60. Like it literally, this entire store literally, that's kind of like what it's meant for. It'll give you the banner characters Psycube, and it will give you the limit brick stuff to actually build that character to 60. So you don't have to physically go in and just dump a whole bunch of stamina on a whole bunch of stuff and the RNG and everything else. So let these events build the character for you. And if you don't want to use the banner character, it'll still give you something. Like if you'll have a character be for like your Centurion or your Attorney or something like that. That's how I did that. Like that's what this is for right now. And each and every event is the same way. It'll alter a little bit. Sometimes it'll be a little bit RNG, and they'll have like you get currency and then you have to go into a store. And then kind of the same way that Ever Crisis does it, like when you beat a boss and you get currency, and then you go in and you go into a little store and then you say, hey, I want to use 1,000, and then it just randomly gives you items. This game does that too. We just didn't get to those patches yet, but it'll do that eventually soon. Well, that's annoying though. I don't like it. I hope they just don't do that global. But it probably is. It's probably going to be the same stuff. It still kind of takes the same time, but it RNGs you. Like maybe you'll get the item you need. Like it'll be like a whole bunch of stuff. This will all be in one thing, and you just put 1,000 in, and you'll randomly get all the stuff here. And it's kind of unnecessary. Just let me buy what I want to buy. But you eventually is going to get all the stuff anyway. And you see like this right here. That's part of how I got this right here, how I got my Tooth Fairy to where she is. All the currency went towards that. And I even have Beyond Wonderland right now. Then the Golden Fleece was for Tooth Fairy too. So that is how I'm doing that. Like I'm just focusing my stamina on building my characters and building my account. And when I get Unilogs, which I'm eventually gonna come over here and get these Unilogs, I like save them, and then if there's something comes along, like I'm done, I'm not gonna summon anymore this particular patch cycle. Next patch cycle, I'm probably gonna have like maybe 10 to 15 Unilogs, and I'll just throw them into that. And maybe I'll have even more Unilogs if they give them free or something like that. Or maybe I'm feeling froggy and want to spin, and I'll spend like 20, 30 summons, see what I get, and then right back to my cycle again of building the account. And that's how I do it. Not hard. You don't need any money for that at all. Period. So again, granted that I did buy the battle pass because I wanted the battle pass because you got the decay outfit beforehand, but I don't have it this time around. And I did get transparency. I think it's in bank. I did get this. That's it. All the rest of the stuff, I always show you guys, but I don't pick any of this stuff up. You don't need it. I mean, if you it make your life easier, you can get to God level easier, basically, but you don't have to do that. So I will catch you guys next video. Be legendary. See you guys soon. I hope you get it. If there's any questions, let me know in the comment section below, because I saw a lot of people ask, how you that strong? You gotta be whaling and everything. I was like, bro, I don't. When do y'all ever see me whale? I'll be confused. Like, whale what? Why would you whale in this game? Like, you literally only have to pay, if you want to, $10 a month. If you want to, you ain't gotta do that. If you want to be free to play, be free to play. It'll take you like a day longer than what my pace is right now, like a day or two. It doesn't even matter. But you'll be all right. So I'll catch you guys next video. Peace.